All right, what's up, boxing fans? It's Aztec 101. So let's talk a little bit about Raymond Ford versus Nick Ball. This is the first fight on Queensberry versus Matchroom's 5-on-5 card, and this is a very exciting fight. Um, I got even more excited about the fight preparing for this video. I went back and I watched their last two fights for both of them, for Ford and for Nick. Okay, and I was really impressed with the matchmaking because this should be really exciting, just stylistically. Raymond Ford, he's 15-0, one draw, 8 wins by KO. He's the WBA champion, and Nick Ball is 19-0, one draw, with 11 KOs. All right. Raymond Ford won the WBA championship title by defeating Otabek Kolmatev. And I got to tell you guys, go back and watch his last fight if you're unfamiliar with Raymond Ford, because this was a banger, man. This was a very, very good fight. Otabek is a tough fighter, and maybe some people might not agree with the way the fight ended. This was a 12-round TKO stoppage, meaning if you guys go watch it, there's like 7 seconds left in the 12th round. So I could see why people were, you may think, hey man, that shouldn't have been stopped. At the end of the day, the fight itself was a great fight. Raymond Ford did what he had to do. If you disagree with anything, you might disagree with the stoppage and the referee, but all in all, it was a really good fight. Also, I went back and watched Jesse Magdaleno versus Raymond Ford. Magdaleno is one of those guys where in his prime, I thought he was going to be one of the top fighters. He never picked up that much steam. He never had that big of a fan base. He did pick up some losses, and inactivity, I think, really kind of hurt his career. But still, he's a well-rounded fighter. He's still a good fighter. He's a great gatekeeper. But what's interesting is that if I were to pick a fighter that closely resembles Nick Ball, that would be Jesse Magdaleno. I think Nick Ball is Jesse Magdaleno in his prime. They're very aggressive. They sit down on their punches. They like to exchange hooks, and they mix it up well with body shots and headshots. So I think that Raymond Ford, he did really well against Jesse Magdaleno, but we will see on how that would translate in a fight with Nick Ball, because Nick Ball is right now in his prime. He's undefeated. He has that momentum coming in. I'm sure he's aware that this is going to be a big fight for him. It's an opportunity at the WBA title. But I think Nick Ball, the one thing that he does do is he's a swarmer. Like this guy, he's small, he's compact, he's only 5'2", but man, the Wrecking Ball is honestly a really, really good nickname for him. It matches up with his style. The guy likes to come up close, and for someone like Raymond Ford, who likes to fight more at mid-range, I think that Nick Ball could create problems if he's able to close that distance. I mean, this is going to be a fight in the phone booth, especially if he's pushing him up against corners, up against the ropes. Nick Ball could really impose his pressure by getting up close, smothering Raymond Ford's punches, and then at the same time be able to attack the body and hit up close like he usually does. Nick Ball, I watched his last two fights. All right. His fight with Ray Vargas. Ray Vargas was, he was very sloppy in that fight, and I think Nick Ball really took advantage of that. Nick Ball showed how his aggressiveness can really make it complicated even for the best punchers, because he, like I said, he gets up close, and Ray Vargas likes to use those long arms. Then you have his fight with Isaac Dogbo. Isaac Dogbo is a tough guy. He's a very tough guy. He's not very technically savvy, and he's not very defensively aware. But he's a really good show. Meaning, you're gonna have fun watching him fight. And he's aggressive. He goes for the knockout. He likes to exchange hooks. Very much like Jesse Magdaleno. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Dogbo defeated Jesse Magdaleno. And Nick Ball, outworked him. He outworked him. Also in that fight, there's also a questionable knockdown. Dogbo was quote unquote knocked down. I mean, it counts. It was scored as an official knockdown. I didn't really see it as a knockdown. I think the ref did play a little bit of favoritism there, but at the end of the day, Nick Ball was the one that was landing more of the punches. He was winning more of the rounds. It was a competitive fight to a certain degree, but Nick Ball, I think he won that fight. I just didn't like the way the ref counted that as a knockdown when it was obviously a slip. I think if you go back and watch it, it's in the 4th round. But yeah, I expect a really good fight. My money right now on this fight is on Raymond Ford. I think that Nick Ball has the tools to make this a complicated fight, probably a rough fight. Nick Ball, he did this with Vargas. He would do small little things that would frustrate Vargas in the clinch. When he would get up close and he would push him up against the ropes, he would push his forearm up against his face, and if the referee doesn't say anything, he'll continue to do that. And Ray Vargas, you could tell he was getting frustrated. Well, that throws you off your game. So I could see Nick Ball doing this in this fight, and he's going to need to use these tactics to beat Raymond Ford, because I think Raymond Ford has the footwork to have Nick Ball use his come forward pressure against him. Sometimes these come forward guys end up walking into punches, and they kind of make the fighter that is moving backwards and fighting off his back foot. They kind of make that fighter control the pace of the fight, because they're chasing. They're chasing the guy on the back foot, and they're almost in a trance. Sometimes you end up seeing fighters that they're very strong, come forward fighters, but they get stuck in a trance. They're not throwing punches. They're just kind of following the opponent across the ring, around the ring. And next thing you know, a minute has gone by. And in that minute, the guy that's moving and fighting off his back foot, he's landed 4, maybe 5 jabs, while the guy that's hunting down, hasn't landed anything. And, very slowly, you can start seeing that rounds get won that way. And even though Raymond Ford, he's not that type of fighter. Raymond Ford is the type of fighter, if he's going to take a step back, it's to land something big. Like, he's going to counter to hurt you. And he has a very sneaky left hook. And it kind of wraps around where it's like an uppercut, but a hook at the same time. Likes to catch guys when they're in defensive mode and maybe they're bobbing and weaving, or they're in the middle of making a movement, taking their head out of alignment when they throw a jab or a right hook. And Raymond Ford is really good at catching them in between that movement. I have a feeling that someone like Nick Ball, who's already 5'2", is not really going to have to worry about too many body punches. It's all going to be headshots. I think that's going to be one of the things that Raymond Ford is going to have to figure out. He's going to have to, at a distance, attack the body. That jab to the body is going to make a big difference in this fight. He needs to keep Nick Ball at bay, and also let Nick Ball know, like, look, you don't just have to protect your chin. You're going to have to worry about your liver. You're going to have to worry about your kidneys. You're going to have to worry about, body shots, not just headshots. And I think Raymond Ford is going to need to mix it up most in this fight. I have Raymond Ford winning. I think it's going to go to decision. I have him winning, but this is a 50-50 fight. This is a pick'em fight. If you have Nick Ball winning, I'm not going to argue with you. That's a great prediction. This is a very good fight, 50-50 fight. I got Raymond Ford winning this one. I think it's going to go to decision. I don't think there's going to be a knockout. But I think that if Raymond is able to kind of do similar to what he did with Magdaleno, he should be able to tame Nick Ball, the Wrecking Ball. But you guys let me know. Leave a comment. Tell me, what do you think? Who do you have winning this fight? This is my first prediction video for the Queensberry versus Matchroom 5-on-5. I will be doing a prediction video and a breakdown for every fight on this card. So stay tuned. But leave a comment, subscribe. This is Aztec 101 in the ring, and I'm out.